Hi, my name is Andrew Russell, and I'm going to talk about my idea, which is an alternative transport network, an alternative transport hub network. Today, we have increasing populations, income, and rates of urbanization. And though these are each good things in themselves, they have several negative consequences. And in human transport, one of those negative consequences is more cars on our roads, which causes increased emissions, congestion, and commuting time decreases the livability of our cities, endangers the city's economies, as well as being bad for the environment. So why is this the case? Why do so many people use cars? Well, one of the reasons, and there are many, is status. It's a status symbol, it's a symbol of identity, as well as cars feeling safer to some. Sometimes the alternatives aren't safe, they're not convenient, they aren't accessible. And so the car actually becomes, in our car-driven culture, a more appropriate, more practical mode for people to use. So how do we change this? What are the decision matrix we got to answer to which we got to answer the questions? And I think the first way we have to change this, and this happens in conjunction with the public sector, is for us to improve the alternatives. Alternatives being public transport, communal transport, and non-motorized transport. And there is a kind of space between private transport and public transport that needs to be filled, and that space is an alternative transport hub network. A hub network being a multimodal, multinodal, nodes being the hubs themselves, modes being the type of transport, integrated transport, integrated transport solution. And this will enable people who currently can't access public transport, who can't get onto the Gautrain easily because there's no effective feeder system, who can't use the new BRT routes because there's no effective feeder system, or this could include things like retrofitting train carriages, which should allow people to travel safely on trains. So how does this work? There is a common program in the public sector in cities that's being looked at and is already underway in Cape Town, and it's called the Employee Trip Reduction Program. This is a pilot project with several large employers run by the respective municipalities that looks at ways using various tools of getting employees out of cars. And how it does this is it has a toolkit, so to speak, of policy measures, incentives and disincentives, ways of informing people, giving them knowledge and understanding, and changing mindset, so that we remove that modal bias, and then improving the existing alternatives and adding new ones, and bringing that all together. So this is a kind of 3 to 4 year program that is funded by the municipalities and run with several large employers, and then there's the next stage, and there's a gap, and they don't quite understand what is going to fill that gap. And where I see what I see as the solution is the idea of a transport hub network that is paid for by the corporates for their employees. Instead of subsidizing the parking of employees, they offer a transport subsidy, therefore not subsidizing the use of SOVs, which is single occupancy vehicle, someone who travels by themselves in a car, and putting it towards a transport network to make a more fun multimodal commute than they ordinarily would sitting in traffic by themselves. So what does a hub look like? A hub serves all the needs of someone who is commuting. It has a gym, it has a coffee shop, it has shower facilities, it has a place to park your bike or lock up your bike, it has communal bikes, docking stations for electric cars, battery swaps for electric cars, and carpooling depots. So it's got everything one needs to make the commute more fun, more cool, more seamless, and make ordinary SOV commuting a little more boring. So that's my idea, that's what I'd like to work on, and I hope you catch.